Hey guys, so this week's Parashat is Parashat Vayikra, which as the name indicates is the first Parashat of Sefer Vayikra, the book of Vayikra. Vayikra is an interesting book because it comes smack in the center of the 5 books of Moses and it completely interrupts the narrative flow. In fact, the whole book only contains 2 significant chunks of narrative, and guess what? Neither are in this week's Parashat. Sefer Vayikra is predominantly about minute ritualistic laws regarding sacrifices, purity, the Mishkan or tabernacle, and other things are largely obsolete in today's day and age. The lack of story and the inapplicability of many of the laws and instructions make Sefer Vayikra a pretty dense read for some, me included, but there's still a lot we can learn from it nonetheless. Many commentators and modern biblical scholars note a common theme throughout the book: division or separation. We see this after the discussion of kosher animals versus non-kosher animals, after the discussion of forbidden relationships and those we must separate ourselves from sexually, and the division of the Jewish people into a class system of Kohanim, Leviim, and essentially just normal people. The different sections of the Mishkan that are distinguished by which classes of people could enter, and what state of ritual purity they could enter. This book even has entire sections devoted to isolation and quarantine of the sick and ritually impure. All these divisions also serve as an allusion to the creation story in Bereshit, in which nearly all of God's creative acts were accomplished via division or separation. He separated the light from the dark, the day from the night, the upper waters from the lower waters, land from the sea. It would seem that by employing a similar theme of separation, Vayikra's account of ritual law, that by accepting and practicing these separations, we are perhaps meant to become godly in a sense. After all, we were created b'tselem Elokim, in the image of God. Robert Alter notes that it is only by accepting all of these divisions that we can fulfill God's wishes and become the Goy Kadosh, Mamlechet Kohanim, the nation of priests, the light unto the nations. Thus, by accepting these divisions and separations, we separate ourselves from the other nations of the world, become godly in a sense, and accept the responsibility of being at the forefront of humanity and leading the human race by example. As such, right now, more than ever, we need to rise to the occasion. Coronavirus spread in America through no malice or ill intentions, largely throughout and from the Jewish community. And as such, we're being held to an even higher standard than usual. In the last few years, we're reaching a new level of anti-Semitism in America, and this will likely not help our case. When I was traveling over break, my mom asked me not to wear a kippah out of fear that I would be attacked or vilified due to the fact that I'm a Jew who lives in close proximity to the New Jewish community, the epicenter of Corona in America. Further, I've seen videos circulating around the internet blaming the Jews in Israel for the spread of the disease. Some fanatics claim that Corona is sent as a punishment to many Jewish communities for not following Jesus. Others claim that Israel intentionally released the disease and is now withholding a cure. So it might not be the views held by everyone, but we're still being held responsible by some. As I said, now more than ever we need to rise to the occasion and accept our responsibility as a light unto the nations. Not only to combat what is just one malicious claim in a long history of anti-Semitism, but perhaps more importantly because we have a rare opportunity to lead by example and affect real change on the world. I've seen some fellow Jews who have failed to accept this responsibility and have broken quarantine and other restrictions imposed on all of us. Not only is it reckless and dangerous, but it's a chilul Hashem. When I hear stories of local parents who, despite being put under mandatory quarantine, are going out to stores or work as usual, or when I see videos of Jews insisting on gathering in large groups for minyanim and protests, I'm angry and I'm ashamed. We should be extremely cautious in these uncertain times, and we should set an example for the rest of the world. We need to take a lesson from Sefer Vayikra and see the value in separation. Yes, Judaism is a religion that fundamentally values community, but not at the expense of the health and well-being of those around us. There are ways to unite as a community while still being divided physically, and we're starting to see more of it now. It's beautiful to see all of the online shirim, delivery services, donations, even just FaceTiming friends you may not have spoken to in a while. That is how we can stay connected despite being separated physically. So, let all of the divisions of Vayikra serve as a reminder of the responsibilities that we take on as a Goy Kadosh, that physical separation does not mean isolation. And please follow whatever guidelines are in place in your community. Use this time to bond with your friends, bond with your family, listen to online shirim, learn a new skill, start a project, watch that show you've always been meaning to get to, or just use this time to relax. These are tough times, but we have an opportunity to show how much good can be accomplished from the physical isolation of our homes. So please, help me show the world what it means to be a light unto the nations. Lead by example. Thank you. Good Shabbos.